Hi, I just met with your classmate Brian, also known as Lewis, and I wanted to tell you about our conversation because I think it'll help you do the work that you're doing tonight and going forward for next week. Um, I'm going to start by just reviewing really quickly what we've been doing for the last 3 weeks, which has led to the creation of the shitty first draft for tonight. I call it the dinner conversation. It's in effect your shitty first draft. It's not a big chunk of your grade. It's going to be revised before it becomes a big chunk of your grade. So in week 9, you did background research and you handed in a summary of of one background source. In week 10, you did substantive or in-depth research and you handed in two summaries of substantive sources. In week 11, you put it all together and you added a source set from the class and you came up with your annotated bibliography, which is the building blocks for your essay. This week was really important, especially this assignment here, the finding and organizing golden lines. So you, after this, watching this video, you may want to go back and work on this a little more. So this is what happened. Brian was feeling stuck. And to sort of put it in context, I want to go back to this assignment because this finding and organizing golden lines builds upon the small group discussion this week. And I'm going to start with David. I hope you've always said yes before, so I hope this is okay. I'm going to start by showing you David's discussion post for this week. In the discussion post, you are meant to go back and grab your 4 sources and boil them down to their main points and in bullet points. So he did that with 4 separate sources. His question is, how does religion affect happiness? He's got 4 sources, this one, and you can see 4 others if you scroll down. So he boiled all 4 sources down to about 3 bullet points, their main points. And then he did this super important step, which was required, that you identify the key concepts in each source. All right. So then when you get to the next assignment, finding and organizing golden lines, you're taking the next step, which is you're deciding on what are the 3 to 4 key concepts for your essay. And those 3 to 4 key concepts for your essay will be drawn from the key concepts in your articles. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a little complicated the way I said it, but it's not complicated. You're for the finding and organizing golden lines, you're deciding on the 3 to 4 key concepts for your essay based on your research. That's the easy way to say it. Okay, so now we're looking at Brian's assignment, his finding and organizing golden lines. He did a really good job with it. His question is, how does wealth play a role in happiness? His 4 concepts that are going to organize his essay are here: happiness, skepticism, the joy of living, worthwhile happiness, the limits of worthwhile happiness, and then making others happy. And for each one, he found golden lines from his sources related to those key concepts, and then he wrote about them as requested. So this is the assignment that you really want to kind of use as your stepping stone to your shitty first draft. That's due tonight. You want to create sections around these key concepts. But so Brian was stuck. He's like, I just don't know how to move forward. I don't know how to start. And remember, you're not actually starting the essay with an introduction, but you are starting to write your body paragraph. So we had a conversation, and what we discovered is that at this juncture, drafting a thesis was a nice bridge to being able to conceptualize those paragraphs. So I asked him, I just asked him, like, I didn't know what this meant. He had to explain it to me. I didn't know what this meant. He had to explain it to me. But once we got that out of the way, I'm like, so what have you discovered? What's your big story here? What's your takeaway? And his takeaway is money does not bring happiness. But he had to next he had to say that in a way, a much more refined and specific way that incorporated his key concepts. And so we came up with this draft thesis statement. You have to be skeptical of the conventional narrative that wealth brings happiness in order to master worthwhile happiness, which doesn't come from wealth. It comes from making others happy and joyful living. So see, there are his four concepts. They're there. His big story is a more refined version of money does not buy happiness. And once we did that, he got unstuck. He was able to conceptualize his 5 paragraphs for tonight. He's going to go now and write these 5 paragraphs, and he's going to have a great starting point for his essay.